So being a business owner gives you that control. And you're right, as you're building a business, and especially a franchise, let me say that again, especially a franchise, you're building equity from day one because you're building a business. You're building a proven business.
Welcome to FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast series. Here we talk about all things franchising. What is it all about? Is it for you? How do you find the best one to own? And so much more. Now your host, Tim Parmeter.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast. I am Tim Parmeter, founder and CEO of FranCoach and your podcast host. Today, I've got good news. It is not a solo episode. We have a guest in the house, and that guest is actually a dear friend of Team FranCoach. In fact, I kind of feel bad it's taken us all the way until episode 66 to get this dude on, but he is here today, and we're going to talk a little bit about his franchise, as well as just a bit about franchising in general. After all, the podcast is called Franchising 101, so we always want to make sure we are helping you learn something new. But before we bring him on and we tell you all of that story, we have to, of course, tell you this one. FranCoach is a national search firm dedicated to working with individuals who are interested in owning a franchise. We are partnered with over 500 of the top franchisors in the country, spanning nearly 60 industries. Our goal is to help clients find the absolute best franchise for them to own. And our goal of the Franchising 101 podcast series is to help educate people on all aspects of franchise ownership. Okay, so that's a bit about us. Now let's get to the star of today's show. And the star is one and only Mr. Matt Woodcock. And Matt is the Director of Franchise Development for Fibrenew franchise. Matt, how are you, my friend? Thanks for joining us.
Tim, super excited to be here to visit with everybody that's listening today. I appreciate them giving us a few of their minutes. We're going to talk about franchising. This ought to be fun today.
It should be, and we're doing everybody a favor that it's a podcast and not video with a couple ugly old dudes. So with faces for radio. So this is fantastic. So what's shaking with you, man? How you been?
I have been good. Thank you for asking. It's obviously been a very interesting past 18 months or so, but the business of business is good, right? The business of a business of America is the business, and business is good. And here at Fibrenew, we've been growing like a weed in the spring, Tim. I mean, it's interesting to see how a service-based franchise model can continue to thrive in any economy. And I know we're going to talk about that a little bit, but business is good.
Absolutely. No, and we've got a bunch of things we want to talk to you about with Fibrenew and just what the heck it is and what it's like maybe to be an owner. But first off, let's give us a scoop on you. Who is Matt? How did you get into this wonderful world we call franchising?
Great question for us to jump into. Much like many of the people who are probably listening to this or have had this happen to them, I got that golden handshake about 2009. I went to work one day and they said, "Matt, we love you to death. You're amazing, but you can't come to work tomorrow because we're downsizing." And it was at that point, Tim, I said, you know what? I'm never going to let anybody have that kind of control over me again. And that was when I started looking to take control of my life. I worked with a consultant, much like yourself, started looking at business opportunities. I knew that a franchise was always going to be my direction as an ownership role because I saw the advantages. I saw the systems, the training. I'm a huge baseball fan, and I use the analogy often that a franchise in baseball, it's kind of like they just drop you on third base. They give you the tools and the support, but you still have to execute to steal home and score that run and be successful. Unlike starting your own business from scratch where you got to get on first, steal second, and be bunted over to third. So I knew a franchise was right for me. I did my due diligence. I ended up purchasing a franchise, and I ran it for almost 9 years. So started, built it, grew it. At the same time, I started working with other people, other like-minded people who were looking to get into the franchise business world. As it turns out, Tim, somebody came along, knocked on my door, said, "I think your business is worth this much," and they'd like to have it. And I said, "You know what? I think it's worth about that much as well." So I sold my franchise and have been part of the franchise development side of the equation for going on almost 7 years now. And I love it every day. I get to help people find their goals, put a smile on their face. And Tim, I've never slept better in my life. How's that?
It is, I always kind of joke, it's like franchising is like the mob, once minus the, the killing and extortion and all that stuff. But once you're in, you don't get out. Whether it's in your great example, you got in as an owner, then you got working with some great franchisors, or the people on my side that were the consultants. Maybe we own something, maybe we work on the other side. It just, you get in and you realize the freedom, the flexibility, the control. Nobody's gonna downsize you. Not to mention the fact you can kind of build whatever you want money wise, financially for yourself. So very, very cool. And though I got to be honest, if we were placing bets, the over under on how long it was going to have you until you brought up baseball was going to be a really short window. So thanks for at least being generic. Since you are the fan of that one team that we are not allowed, you will get edited out if you say the name on this show. So just keep that in mind.
Gotcha. We won't talk about that Redbird. I got you.
So yeah. So but you also talked about something that I think it gets lost on people is the exit strategy with this, right? If you got this, great position in the corporate world, hey, I'm vice president of blah, blah, blah. Awesome, right? But when you leave, whether it's your choice or theirs, and it's probably going to be theirs, you don't get to sell that position to the next person. You can't legacy that to your kids to come in after. You've basically rented that. The franchising world, it is ownership. It is yours to build, do with what you want, and ultimately be able to just do like you did, build a huge business, and then cash out at the end, which is, again, I don't think most people realize or think much about that at the beginning, but that's kind of the ultimate goal with this.
Absolutely. You should always have a beginning, middle, and end to anything you do. And you're right. In the corporate America, you don't get that type of control. You're trading time for money. Let's just call it what it is. You're trading time for money. You give them 8 to 6, 5 days a week. They give you 2 checks a month and a cloud of dust, right? And when they're done with you, they let you move on. So being a business owner gives you that control. And you're right. As you're building a business, and especially a franchise, let me say that again, especially a franchise, you're building equity from day one because you're building a business. You're building a proven business. To everybody that's listening here today, a franchise in its truest definition, a proven system for success that can be replicated. The idea behind a great franchise in Portland, Oregon, and a great franchise in Portland, Maine, the only true difference should be the owner. And therefore, the secondary market or the resale value of a franchise is substantially higher than a traditional business because of the structure, because of the support, because of the systems that are inherent within the franchise. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, it's not Bob's sandwich shop that we're selling, and we got to trust Bob was mildly ethical and competent with his books and all those things. It's Bob, the owner of sandwich shop franchise XYZ, where you now have the whole system in place from the franchise. You've got all these other owners that you get to validate with as well. It's just so much more behind it with that. So very, very, very cool. So tell us, we want to also, you and I could talk about franchising in general forever, right? But just, I want to let everybody know just a tiny bit here about what the heck is Fibrenew. So, I mean, maybe what does Fibrenew do? Who are your customers? Maybe before we talk about ownership, we need to know what the heck you guys do.
Absolutely. Well, at Fibrenew, we're the experts in leather, vinyl, and plastic restoration. I know, don't everybody start applauding right now. That's not the coolest thing in the world. But you know what it is? This is a 37-year-old, extremely well-developed and mature franchise system. We have over 270 franchise partners, primarily in North America, but we are in 6 different countries around the globe. And what we do, Tim, we can restore leather, plastic, and vinyl back to like new. And when you think about it, you look around where you're sitting right now. If you're listening to this while you're driving, think about the car you're in. If you're at the gym, look around at the bench press machines and whatnot. We can restore those items for their owners for a fraction of the price of replacing. Right? Simple and easy. The model here at Fibrenew, which dovetails into some of the things we've been talking about, process plus product equals success. We at Fibrenew have been executing the process for 37 years. We know how to train you to execute the types of restorations we do. At Fibrenew, we make, manufacture, distribute exclusively to our franchisees over 220 proprietary products. This is the moat around the business. I know all the MBAs out there just looked up and said, wow, he said moat. Absolutely. This is what keeps competitors from coming into the marketplace is the product, the R&D, the production, the distribution. It's too big a hill for most companies to climb. And so when you have the knowledge, and with a franchise, you're going to inherit 37 years of 37 years of institutional knowledge on how to do the restorations. And you combine it with the best products in the world. Ask any mechanic, when you have the right tools, the job is not hard to do. But if you're trying to do a job with things you bought off the shelf or something you might have gotten down at Home Depot, it's never going to look right. Process plus product equals success. And over the past 37 years, we as a company have never gone backwards in size. It's a service business that thrives in any economy. And again, I encourage you, look around. The seat you're sitting on, the movie theater you went to last weekend, the restaurant you went to and had pancakes and coffee on Saturday morning. We work everywhere. It's a great business model for the right owner. It's the dream come true. And here at Fibrenew and myself particularly, I love helping make that connection with people like yourselves, Tim. Absolutely.
You got me chuckling there at the beginning, right? Like it's not it's not super sexy. It's not the shiny object, but some of the best business opportunities out there with the biggest market potential are not the shiny object. They're the things that as you were explaining that, you're like, even I kind of thought of one where we actually were talking about you Labor Day weekend. My wonderful fiance, let me make sure that's on the record again. My wonderful, amazing, beautiful fiance and we had rented a boat for the day, and we were sitting on the boat, and there was one of the seats was kind of ripped a little bit. And I'm like, I told her, I'm like, hey, we need Matt and Fibrenew down here to fix this, right? And you just don't think about those things until you realize, oh my gosh, there's an entire business just for that, and all the different industries and places and applications for that, right? So, sexy does not equal money in franchising. In most cases, I think it's the opposite. So you've got an endless array of services, and you've in fact sent me some of the product, which on my the car that I drive, that 1973 Ford Pinto, needs a little work, and it's shined it up nicely. So it is. Honestly was pretty amazing the difference. And I do honestly have a newer car, and still I'm like, but I also have an 8-year-old, right? And so like, oh, that made a difference. Thank you there, buddy. So, so that's the service. What's what do you look for in an owner?
It's such an interesting question, Tim. And when you're thinking about becoming an owner for a franchise, the very first thing, regardless of what business opportunity you're looking at, remember, not everybody's right for the same business. And I'm fast to tell people in the very beginning, we're not right for everybody, and not everybody's right for us. It's about finding that great connection. That's why I always encourage people to work with consultants to help them have that introduction. Let them help you try to narrow down this field. But for us here at Fibrenew, we're looking for people who, obviously, working with your hands is a huge advantage. Huge advantage. So if you like to wrench on engines, or you build models, or you're just handy around the house, that's the first place we want to look at. But as we've proven over the past 3.5 decades, we have people from all walks of life. Whether you're a Fortune 50 CEO or you're the last guy on the assembly line of the Ford plant, it doesn't really matter. We want people who want to grow a business, they want to be in control, and they want to take charge of their life. And that's an ongoing theme that you're going to hear from pretty much everybody in our industry, is about taking control and being the boss. Well, at Fibrenew, we really take that to the next level. We want you to be able to take Thursdays off and coach your kid's baseball game, right? We want that to happen. We want the family atmosphere where we are. This isn't about chasing the almighty dollar and you working 1,000 hours a week. It's about you having balance. And those are some of the things we really look for. We take that deep dive and ensure that it's a good fit for both sides.
And I like that you've got a combo that's unique, right? Is you have some owners that really can be They're the ones out doing the work. They enjoy it. It's something that they're good at, and they like doing, and now they're doing it for themselves. But you could not be the person and be able to get some people like that in place as well. So really, again, that lifestyle piece and understanding the market of what you guys are bringing to the table is huge. So it does give people different options, even if they want to start doer and then start bringing some people on afterwards to kind of build that team and build an infrastructure. They can really do that with you guys, right?
Yeah, and I want to take that just one little step further. Everybody who is a business owner right now, and if you're one listening to us and you're just thinking about it, please give Tim or I a call. But when you're a business owner, hiring employees is often one of the biggest challenges out there, right? Because you're going to make the investment in recruiting them and then the time investment to hire them and train them. And you want to keep them around for as long as you can. One of the really unique pieces within Fibrenew is that when you hire a technician, which is what we call somebody that's actually out doing the restoration, you're going to train them to utilize our systems, to utilize our products. What that gives them is a little bit of I don't want to call them golden handcuffs, Tim, but they're going to learn a vocation that is unique. And it's not something that can be done with off-the-shelf products. So as you grow your business, as you make that human capital investment, Fibrenew is one of those unique businesses where when you make that investment in an employee, they're going to stay for a while, right? It's not something where they could just go to the next person who righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and they can get a mechanic's job. This is something where they're going to stay for a while.
One of the things that you guys have, I think, is rare also, and I don't mean this to be a bad thing, but there's an actual requirement for owners, and we need to be able to discern colors with Fibrenew, right? Which is I've always meant to ask you that because I know that's a thing, but how often does that come up?
Not as often as you and I would think, but often enough that one of the very first things we do, Tim, when we're meeting with a new potential Fibrenew owner, is we're going to send them a quick color test they can take online. And it just helps to make sure they can identify color. Now, we have technology built into Fibrenew with our Color Eye and some of the other tools we've built that are proprietary to Fibrenew that will help you in identifying color and also helping you with the recipe to blend to that exact color. But as we all know, and you're mentioning your son who's 8 years old, your car, the original color that it was when it came out of the factory, has probably faded a little bit in the Arizona sun. So we can match to that exact color, but now we need to fade it. We need to move that color a little bit just so that it matches the rest of the car. Or we get to do the entire car, depends on which way you want to go with that. So color and being able to see it and discern it. It's not a critical component, but it's part of what we have. And then we'll give you a quick color test. It'll take you 5 minutes. We'll know exactly what your capacity is. And if it's an issue, we'll have that discussion.
Gotcha. I was one of those things I don't know that's ever really come up, or I've known somebody, I'm sure I've known lots of people that are colorblind. It's a unique thing. But again, it speaks to what I kind of wanted to ask you next, is to touch a little bit more on the level of support, kind of in addition to what you've already talked about, because it's overwhelming, the level of support you guys have for people, product, the systems, all of that. But then also maybe get into a little bit of all that stuff is great, but if I can't find a customer or I can't get in front of somebody, that doesn't matter how great the systems and the service and the product is. Maybe talk a little bit more about some of those things from a franchisor support standpoint.
Okay, absolutely. We believe, and one of the neat pieces about Fibrenew, we're a family-owned company, right? This isn't quarterly stock reports and trying to make shareholders happy. We are a family-owned business here at Fibrenew. We're headquartered in Calgary, Canada. It's a little different dynamic with our friends north of the border. And this is a business where we believe, and it's ingrained in the DNA of this company, that it's our responsibility as the franchisor to help you come into the business. That's what I do. It's our responsibility to help you get trained up for the business. We have an incredible training team of actual Fibrenew owners that are the trainers, right? We don't put you in a classroom with a bunch of people behind white lab coats. You're working with people who execute every single day. It's our responsibility to help you build your business. So we actually have Fibrenew owners who have retired, have come back, and they're business coaches to help you build your business. Be that person you can reach out to about, should I expand? Should I do this? And then we also help you through the process of leaving. And we talked about a little bit earlier, the succession planning. That's where you'll come back to myself and the development team to help you exit your business correctly and profitably when that time is right. And so within all of that structure, that's part of the DNA of Fibrenew. Now, of course, we've got systems. We've partnered with Jobber. And if anybody's in the field management area these days, Jobber is a company based out of Toronto. They're the industry leaders in field management software. We've partnered with them to build the backbone of Fibrenew. We manage the entire tech platform for our owners, from the website to the social media. We do it all for them. They can, of course, go in and enhance it when they want to, or they can set it on autopilot. We don't need people to learn how to do Facebook and Instagram if they don't want to. We take care of those pieces so that you, as the owner, can begin to market locally. And what we mean by marketing locally, just introducing yourself. There's no selling in what we do. Everything we do here at Fibrenew is based on an estimate or a bid. So there's no selling. There's no cold calling. It's really just going up to the person at the local golf course, or use your example of the boat, going up to the harbor master, the marina owner, and just saying, "Hi, I'm Matt with Fibrenew. We're the experts in leather, vinyl, and plastic restoration. We work on boats and keep them looking proper for our owners. Here's a couple photos of what we do. I'd love to leave my information. When you need our services, and you will, I'd love the opportunity to earn your business." That's it. That's the entire piece of marketing for us. Most of our owners, Tim, are usually 2 to 3 weeks out in business. Right? They can't handle the business that's coming to them just through grassroots marketing. And I'm going to take your question, take it just one little step further. Here at Fibrenew, we don't dictate your marketing to you. Many franchise companies will collect a marketing fee or a co-op fee, which is great if you're in a huge market. Right? They take that money from around the world and then they put it all in New York, or they put it all in Chicago, because that's where it's most expensive. Here at Fibrenew, your marketing dollars are your discretionary spending. You get to choose it. We will help you. We'll give you counsel on it, but we never force your hand and say, you must do this, you must do that. We want you to be, again, in control of your own business.
And I think that speaks to the overall culture you guys have. Again, family owned and been around for so long, and still family owned. It's not something private equities come in and gobbled up, although I'm sure many have tried. And you and I've known each other a long time, and this is as happy as you've been from that perspective of, again, because I know you're a genuinely good dude. You're around good people. You've got that culture with the owners, which speaks highly to everybody within the Fibrenew organization. So that's so good to hear, and the support, again, just being borderline overwhelming how much you guys are there to do for folks. So that's awesome. I want to, and can't thank you enough, as always, my friend, for taking some time to chat. And I know you are busy. There's probably a stupid Cardinals game or something you gotta hop to here in a second. I'm gonna give you the mic for one last thing. This is like an open mic session. Is there, I guess, anything else you want to share about Fibrenew, maybe just franchising in general? I'm putting you on the spot with this one. So the floor is yours, brother. Fibrenew, franchising, whatever you want, man. What else you want us to know today?
All right. Well, to learn more about Fibrenew, obviously contact Tim, contact those guys there with his group. If you want to reach out to me directly, just make sure you reference this podcast so I can let Tim know how you guys came to us. We're happy to do that. Fibrenew.com. You'll find all the information you want there about us. What I want to share with everybody today, though, is as you're looking at a business, find that place that makes you smile. Understand going in what you're looking for. Do you want a job replacement? Do you want to build something that's empire-building? Have that mindset of what you're looking for as you begin to work with Tim and his team there. Then as you're investigating the franchises, and please take the time to do the investigation. Don't just dismiss them on the cuff because you don't like the color of their logo or their trademarked brand. Investigate them a little bit. Be quick to say, you know what, I don't think this is right for me. And that is 100% okay, right? That's 100% okay. But come to it with what you're looking for. And if you do that, you're going to find that a franchise 99 out of 100% of the time is going to be the right fit for you. And then it's just a matter of fine tuning which one's going to be best for you, for your family, for today, tomorrow, and generational.
And that open mind piece, I think you're kind of alluding to there, is so key, because, and I say this to people all the time, but when we get to the point of introducing people to franchises, the one that, if there's one maybe out of the three we show that people will roll their eyes at me about, that's the winner, like 9 times out of 10 at the end, right? It's rarely the franchise that people, oh my gosh, I got all this experience in it, I loved it. It is rarely that. It is usually something people have little to no experience in, maybe didn't have the foggiest idea it even existed, didn't realize how much, leather, plastic, and vinyl were out there, whatever it might be. So just that open mind to explore and learn is huge. So spot on with that, my friend. So Matt, thank you so much for coming on to talk to us today.
Tim, it's been a little slice of heaven, my friend. Thank you.
Just a little one. That kind of hurts. So hopefully a big slice for everybody tuning in, and hopefully this will enlighten those interested in franchise ownership to some of the amazing possibilities that are out there. If you'd like to learn more about becoming a franchise owner, whether it's Fibrenew or any of the 500 plus brands we're partnered with, let's schedule a brief introductory call. FranCoach.net, social media, our podcast site is franchising101podcast.net. And of course, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your favorite ones. We don't want you to miss anything along the way. And then lastly, again, if there's some interest in franchise ownership, let's talk. There's never any fee for our service. So we encourage you to take that first step today to help create your better tomorrow. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Stay safe, and we'll talk with you soon.
Thanks for listening to FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast, where our ultimate goal is to help educate you on all things franchising so you can create your better tomorrow.